Hi, my name is Lily Garamani, and I am excited to talk with you all today about the Court of Social Grievances, which is an online platform that uses social media to settle personal disputes. Now, I said I was excited to talk to you about this, so now I'm going to talk to you about something I'm not excited about, and it's when I receive one of these. There is nothing we dread more than a jury summons, and it's not that we don't have opinions, it's that we want to give opinions on the issues that interest us. Social media has become our second life. It's where we interact with our friends, it's where we interact with our family, it's where we talk about what we've done all day, and it's certainly where we talk about what bothers us. And right now, as we're spending all this time on social media, the fact is that while that court system and those jury summons exist, the court that really matters is the court of public opinion, and yet it has no permanent residence. So what we're looking to do with the Court of Social Grievances is to gather the energy of the online platform and use it to provide a reliable environment in which you can settle personal disputes online. How are people currently solving problems in their lives? Well, social media is one, and some would say that we're not solving our problems there. What we're actually doing is a lot of times just venting, but we're going there in the millions, and in Facebook we're going there in the billions. We're going to chat boards, such as Yahoo Answers. The problem with the chat boards is, if you've seen them, the user interfaces are rather poor. There's no community, and because of that, there's not really an incentive to return. You have your one little problem, you vent about it, you disappear. There are online dispute resolution sites, which are essentially an online legal system, and there is the legal system itself. As a self-hating attorney, I'm going to point out a few things that I love about the legal system, which is that it's expensive, it is time-consuming, and the fact is a lot of people find it intimidating, and as a public, we have skepticism about whether the people who are judging the cases are really anything like us, if they really understand what's going on. And to me, the biggest problem is the court system that we have doesn't address the problems that are actually keeping people up at night. What's the appeal of online solutions? Well, first of all, we've gotten really comfortable with going to this massive online community to get advice and help. It used to be called panhandling, but now it's called crowdfunding. You go to complete strangers and you ask them for money so you can do something that you want to do. So it's a natural progression that we would start using that for emotional solutions and just for advice. Secondly, as mobile devices have kind of become an extension of our hands, research in psychology is actually showing that people are more comfortable interacting through their devices. So part of the reason they think that is we have a minute to stop and think before we respond or before we interact. We choose our words carefully, and we're able to represent how we feel about things better. The reason this is important for the Court of Social Grievances is a little problem that you might not discuss at the dinner table, we feel comfortable emailing about. And finally, the online environment is hot because it provides instant gratification. With the Court of Social Grievances, you have the solution to your case delivered right to your inbox. The court is looking to address three key types of cases. The first is social disputes of all natures, just the little problems people have between them. This is the foundation. This is really, we're going to talk about why marketing-wise that's going to be fabulous, to build a strong base and to build user engagement. Once that brand is there and once people really have started to trust the court with their little problems, we step it up a little bit. We bring in customer complaint resolution. Now, right now, brands are having to be on the defensive on social media. If I complain about Twitter, an airline might direct message me and solve the problem. The problem is they've had a ding to their reputation on Twitter, and I have no motivation to go back on and say, look, they solved it, they were great to me, they fixed the problem. So by bringing the issues to a public venue, they might have that ding to the reputation, but then they have the PR repair and, in fact, the opportunity to bolster their brand. And finally, long-term, what we'd like the court to become is a platform for the online resolution of minor legal cases. Small claims court can go up to $7,500. There are a number of cases in the smaller range where cost-benefit people don't bother to handle them. There is monetization to be had in adjudicating very minor legal cases in an informal online forum. I want to give you a little simple example case from the Court of Social Grievances. This case is unfortunate for my friend Mason. It was his 10-year anniversary, and his wife, my friend Anita, said, honey, it's our 10-year anniversary, and I've seen this $2,000 ring I'd like. And he said, for $2,000, why don't you go get a tummy tuck? You can imagine how that went down. And that's the kind of case that someone would like to bring in the Court of Social Grievances. So as a typical case, it would be distilled down to the key players, a simple presentation of the facts, and what do you want? In this case, something simple like a gift and an apology. And I don't want you to underestimate the value of validation. Why does the Court of Social Grievances work? Because it caters to every personality. It caters to a range of emotions and a range of personal strengths. There are 6 different roles that you can be playing in the Court of Social Grievances. You might be a plaintiff, you might be a defendant, you might be an expert advisor, which could be a lawyer if it's actually a legal case, or just someone who's an expert in something. You've got the jury, who are just interested parties who like to, the kind of people who like to give advice. Judges, and finally, voyeurs. And voyeurs might sound crazy at first, but if you think about it, YouTube began as a site where you load your personal videos, and now it's become a world of voyeurs. Secondly, reality legal programming is on the rise. So while our interest in things like, Jersey Shore, whatever, come and go, the fact is we're really interested in single problem, single solution reality programming. So actually, Judge Judy just had her best year in 10 years. And finally, it's relatable. The same reason that things like reality programming do appeal to people is the fact that, and this is from a study by Kilborn, it could have just as easily happened to me. So it's not just about what we want to do, it's about how we want to do it. So the Court of Social Grievances does 3 key things. First, it's going to be the effective, efficient option. It's a clean and quick way to get solutions to a problem that's happening in your life. Second of all, the problem's there. The fun is in making it entertaining. And this is where we take a serious departure from the legal system. We want people to have a sense of humor about it and have a little fun with a minor conflict that's happening in their life. And finally, it's designed around frequent use. So we've created a structure where it's going to be diversified with various avenues. There are a number of reasons you can come to the court, and there are a number of roles you can play. So what we have is exponential reason for engagement and return. So we know this is the slide you've been waiting for. And the thing with the Court of Social Grievances is we're looking to really diversify the ways that can be monetized. We don't want this to be a one-trick pony. So advertising gets discussed a lot. And there's the fact of advertising on demographics. That's great. A lot of people are doing it. What we have the opportunity to do here is to capture people not only based on demographics, but with unique insight into a specific thing that's happening in their life at that time. So to give you an example with my poor friend Mason, Mason might not have been the typical demographic, according to advertising, for a Kay Jewelers ad. But now he's had a fight with his wife about a $2,000 ring, so a $100 pair of earrings from them is looking really good, and that advertising has a higher premium. There will be service advertising.
So how does this work?
Sure.
Is it, if I'm either a jury or a voyeur, I'm looking at a video from each side?
Well, we want to do it where there will be multimedia capability.
So it'll be text or video.
Yeah, and if it's text, we want to keep
whatever.
it short form in keeping with the trends on social media. I don't want, again, ran away from law. I'm not looking for pages of pleadings. So video would be a natural tie-in. You would get brief testimony from each side, rebuttals, and then off we go. Let the jury handle it.
And do you think that eventually, is the idea that you'd have a voting system, or is there some more weight for the judge than the lawyer than the average Joe, or what?
That's a great question. It's actually going to. So if you elect to hear it heard by the jury, then it's going to be the majority on the jury. And if you elect to hear it heard by a judge, just like you can in court, then it'll be what the judge decides.
There will be a real judge?
No, I mean, judge.
Oh, they've just decided this is going to be their judge.
And we're talking about the initial phase, which is social.
On that judge.
Yeah, they both agree to be heard in the court. The same way, just to give you an example, with the People's Court.
Now let's take it further. Let's say there's a murder. That person has to be tried by...
They have to go to the real court system.
Well, but But wait, what over the long haul? Over the long haul, I'm hoping what you're thinking about is this replaces our ridiculous court system.
I think that the underlying technology absolutely could. What we're talking about, and I mean, in the short term, is really the social engagement. But yeah, I mean, yeah, in the long term, it could be a murder trial, and then you're going to get into all the evidence and the files, which are already right now moving online.
But a murder trial, it has to be all 12 jurors.
Yes. Yeah. So the rules would change, certainly.
So you'd have to figure something out.
Yeah, and we have the opportunity, for example, to do, jury selection. For example, if it's a marital dispute, if it's Mason and Nita, he doesn't want a jury of 3 women deciding, just as an example. So yeah, we have a lot of flexibility with what we can do with it.
Do you have it out running?
No, we are pre-development right now.
So you're just getting, are you a coder?
No.
You're a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Yeah.
Former lawyer.
I'm a former lawyer.
You need
just
a
kidding.
coder.
Yes, yeah. So we've got the software, and I'll tell you about our team. So we do have the software guys on the team. We've got marketing, law, and
are you raising money?
That's what we're trying to do.
That's the whole
yeah,
point, huh?
Yeah.
How much do you think you need to get going?
Right now, we're looking for about $200,000 to get off and running, to build out the concept and to accelerate adoption, and then we're going to be going after our first round of 1.5 to 2.5.
200,000. I mean, all you need to do is code it, right?
Well, and you need to have. I'm a marketing girl now, so we want enough runway that we can take off with some advertising to really get that adoption up.
Do you think that there are enough of those little disputes that people would say, okay, I'm going to put this up on the thing, that would start the viral spread of this? Or how do you think you're going to get it going?
I do think so, only because I spend an unusual amount of time probably on social media, and people are constantly bringing up issues in their life. And you might remember there was that whole fuss about whether they were going to add a dislike button on Facebook, because people have opinions, thumbs up, thumbs down, because people are putting things up, and it's almost like they want the public vote. And what they haven't been given is a clear venue where you can do that. So yeah, people are already out and venting and talking about their problems. They're just not getting a quantified response.
I wonder if there would be, you could do something, not just this, but you could put some fake things, not fake things, but some celebrity things up there, like what do you think of Tiger Woods now?
You got it up there, yeah.
Oh,
that's actually one of our
plan.
strategies.
Okay.
And this we're talking about monetization, and the next slide, actually, I'm talking about growth. I completely agree with you. I think celebrity-driven, we have opinions about what's happening, so we can have manufactured cases about, the breakup or whatever, whose side do you take, that sort of thing, to drive publicity. So long story short, we're looking to grow the audience in a number of ways. We want people to keep coming back, like you said, with the hot docket of what the case of the day is that you should probably hear about, with jurists, people on the jury who have been on a number of juries, and they get a following of their own. So we start to have kind of celebrities within the program itself. And then we want the content to live on. So essentially we archive past cases, and it becomes like an online advice column. So there are a number of ways we see it growing, and for the sake of time, I'll go quickly. Our team is multidisciplinary. Like I said, we do have the software programmers. We've got lawyers, we've got marketers, we've got business strategy with an eye towards how you can use alliances for growth. In conclusion, we are a team that is really excited about building a fun, profitable product that I think uses technology to make people's lives better. We've got our go-to-market strategy of partnering with existing communities so we can hit the ground running, and a diversified revenue model. So problems are an evergreen market, and we think we're on the way to finding the solution. And I invite you to explore the opportunity of the Court of Social Grievances, and I hope you will consider building the new halls of justice with that.
That's great.